Apostle Alton R. Williams with your Black America and Socialism point for today. Hearing a lot about socialism, and I just want to let you know where we are headed as a nation and where we are headed as a community, Black America. And we got to get this word out so you can understand what's going on. And when you understand this, then you can understand the news better when you hear it. But socialism is only one step away from communism. Vladimir Lenin, who was the first leader of the Bolshevik Soviet Union, made this statement. He said that socialism is not the main goal, communism is. Communism is the goal. So whenever you start hearing socialism on the news, always remember the next step is communism. And that's the main goal. Now, let me tell you what socialism is. Socialism, again, is nothing but the control of the means of production. See, that's the first step. Instead of businesses controlling it, the government controls it. And guess what? Now your nation becomes dependent on its means and productions by the government. They own the farming industry, the manufacturing industries, and all other industries. They will own that. But when the government takes over stuff, they were not made to produce, to manufacture. They are not called to do that. That's not the role of the government. But once they take over that means we cannot eat unless they give us the proper food. If the government can't produce and the food runs out, what do we do? What do we do as a nation? So the first step is, let's start with socialism. We're going to control all the means of production. Now let me give you this definition. What then is communism? Communism is total government control of our lives. Socialism simply controls the means of production of all goods and services. But communism takes control of our lives in every way. The government will then own your property, your home, your finances, and all of that. It will belong to the government once you become a communistic nation. Our rights will be taken away. Our freedoms will be taken away. Our finances, the hard work that we do, will be given to other people who have not worked as hard. If somebody's out walking the streets lazy, don't want to get to find their purpose in life, don't want to work, is it fair for us to make $1, $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a year, and all of our hard work ends up going to somebody else who was not willing to work? Is that fair? And do we want to live in that kind of society? Well, that's what happens in communism. The government go own your property, your house, your land. That means they can put you out of it whenever they get ready. Communism can only work through the government enforcement. Watch, I gave this previously. It means collectivism, all of us putting our money in one big pot collectively, and we're all distributing income collectively, and we're all on the same level. The only way you can enforce that is the government has to enforce it, because only the government got the power to make you do it. So that means if you rebel and don't want to do it, they got the guns, the military, the law enforcement, the control of the law enforcement to go in to force you to pay up what you're supposed to pay. That's why that's the only way it can work. The government has to control it. So when you start hearing about socialism, remember it is headed to communism. And if you don't comply, then they can come in and control you. So what happens with that? Stop and think. We are a constitutional republic. We got the Constitution. Our rights are etched in stone. We operate by the rule of law in America. But under socialism, communism, and all of that, you end up having dictatorships. One man, along with maybe an elite or ruling class, they then dictate to everybody else what they're going to do. So if that one man is not governed by the rule of law, if that one man is not governed by the rule of law, guess what? If he gets mad because somebody doesn't agree with him, he got the right to kill them, and nobody will say a word because there's no constitution that governs him. And that has happened in history. Later on, I'm going to give you the top 10 leaders of the world who ended up slaughtering their people. Case in point, Mao Zedong, that was over the Republic of China. ended up killing 60 million of his people. Why? He was the highest law. There was nobody above him. Is that the nation we want? Now, I realize as African Americans, we don't all the time appreciate America. I understand the history of slavery and all of that, and it was bad that that happened. But I give America credit. They corrected the problem. They changed it. They put in an amendment that was against slavery. So do we continue to keep on not forgiving America? I can tell you this, America got a lot of problems. It is not perfect. It never will be perfect, but it's the best thing going out there. You have the right and the ability to become whoever you want to be, and you have the freedom and the opportunity to be able to do that. There's nothing else out there in the world like it. And so goes America, so goes the world. And I thank God that we got strong military protection. That's what keeps nations from trying to come in and bomb this nation and take over us. We have spent the dollars to raise up a strong military to protect this nation. Why? So you and I can go about our lives having the pursuit of happiness and freedom and opportunity. That's the role of the government. That's the role of the army. Not us working for the government. See, today in America, it's about we the people. The government works for us. But under socialism, you work for the government. And that's where America is headed if we don't wake up. And I'm through after I make this point. I just saw a movie the other night called Hotel Mumbai. And that's M-U-M-B-A-I. One of the greatest movies I've seen at least over the last 10 years, because these movies today have just been horrendous. But it was one of the best movies. I was on the edge of my seat the whole night, almost a 2-hour movie. My wife and I went Monday night, and it was just something. It's only in one place in Memphis. I don't know why it's not in other places. And this is a true story. It happened back in 2008. One of the hotels there in Mumbai was taken over by 10 Muslim men who came in and just went through the hotel, started shooting everybody down randomly. Out in the lobby, went and knocked on their doors and asked like they were waiters coming in to bring them food or bring their luggage up or whatever. When they opened the door, they just shot them in the name of Allah, stating that that they were doing Allah's service by going to kill everybody. And then the whole movie is about how those who were hiding out were trying to stay safe. But the real problem was they didn't have guns. The people didn't have nothing to protect themselves with. And that's what happens under regimes that are controlled by dictators or controlled by communism. They take the guns away from the people so they can't protect themselves. And that's exactly what's trying to happen in America right now. That's your Black America Socialism point for the day. Stay tuned for the next one. And go at the bottom of the blog, you'll see a video that will give you greater details about what I just spoke about. God bless you.